Hey, this is Christopher. Today, I'm talking about the 5 subscription services you should get, or at least look at, when you're traveling. Let's take a look. Okay, so I want to start off by saying this episode is not sponsored by any of these services. I'm also primarily an Apple user, although I do have Android devices that I use as well. So some of these are going to apply specifically to the Apple platform, but many of which will run on just about any platform, whether that be an iPhone, an iPad, an Android phone, or a Google phone, or a Google tablet, as well as a desktop computer like a Mac or a PC. So let's get into it. The first one that I would highly recommend is Apple Music. Now, I fly American Airlines, and they've partnered with Apple to allow you to stream your Apple Music from the airline. Now, this, of course, is only compatible with certain flights. Smaller planes don't have that in-flight Wi-Fi, so you might not be able to take advantage of it. But the good news is, with an Apple Music subscription, which, let me put the prices here up on the screen, individually is going to be $9.99 a month, but you can also do a family plan, so you plus 5 other people can enjoy that subscription for $14.99. It's also bundled as part of Apple One, which is their bundle of different services that they offer. Now, the reason that I love to listen to music is when I'm traveling in a non-pandemic year, I'm normally in a plane or in a car roughly 45 weeks a year, and so you spend a lot of time, and honestly it can be sort of monotonous just being on a plane and waiting to get from one destination to the next. So I normally have several playlists that I curate and I pre-download and make sure that they're on the device, so that regardless of whether or not I'm in a plane that supports this partnership with Apple to stream your music or not, I'm just going to have that music to play on demand at any time. Now, the good news is that the Apple Music app works both on Android and on iPhone, and is definitely something that I would take a look at. Next up, I would say that Spotify is definitely a good alternative. If you're not into Apple Music, of course, I'm a huge fan of it. Spotify is a great alternative. They also have several different levels of subscriptions that you can take a look at. You can go with an individual plan where that will cost you $9.99 a month. You can go with the duo plan that allows for a couple under one roof to be able to do that subscription for $12.99, and then you can go with a family plan that will cost you $15.99. Now, some of the things that you get is ad-free, but you can of course just download Spotify, create an account, and be able to listen with ads at any time. Again, one of the benefits of these plans and having it coupled with an app on your device is that you can download them for offline access and be able to enjoy that music regardless of whether or not you have internet, which, remember, normally in a flight will cost you an additional cost, but also if you're at the airport, your mileage may vary depending on where you're spending your time and what Wi-Fi connectivity that you have there. So Spotify is definitely a good alternative, and of course it is a little bit broader than just the singular Apple Music in that they will offer more services like podcasts. So, number 3, let's talk about podcasting. The good news is both Google and Apple have their own podcast infrastructure and apps that you can take advantage of for absolutely free as a consumer. There are a ton of podcasts out there that I love to listen to. One in particular, because I'm an IT person, is Command Control Power. It's one of my favorite podcasts with some great personalities, veterans in the Apple community who just talk shop and just talk about their experiences as Apple consultants. Now, that may not appeal to you, but there are plenty of them out there depending on whether it be technical topics, cooking, relaxation, meditation, just discussions about business and life. There's a huge selection, a huge opportunity for you to really consume a lot of content and maybe get some great insight. I love learning, and so for me, while I'm on trips, while traveling can be stressful, I like to listen to things that help me relax or pass the time. It's easy to be in a plane for anywhere from 6 to 8 hours in a day, and so you can make really good use of that time by listening to podcasts, catching up on some insights, or just generally vegging out to some really relaxing, soothing voices. It really depends on who you are and what you like to do. But again, I love podcasts. They're free for us to consume and to listen to. Sometimes they're in video format, sometimes they're in audio format, depending on the storage of your device and what you're willing to commit to in terms of offline access. Audio is probably the way to go. And again, you can have easily 2 to 9 hours worth of content available on your device. Special guest Chewy, my dog, letting us know his insights on podcasts. He's a huge fan of them. He said it's a rough flight if you don't have them. Yeah, couldn't help that. I'm not a dad, but dad jokes. So number 4, for me, one of my favorite services that I subscribe to is LinkedIn Learning. Let's take a look at pricing here. It's a little bit higher up in terms of cost, but I also think there's a lot of great value to it. So for $29.99 a month, you can check out LinkedIn Learning, which will give you access to 24/7 unlimited access to tons of business design and tech online courses. The good news is, like any of these services I'm talking about, they're going to work on multiple platforms. Now, a little bit of history here about LinkedIn Learning. So LinkedIn Learning originally was lynda.com, which still exists. You can sign in. In fact, if you're in the Louisiana area, the Lafayette Public Library System actually offers anyone who's a member of the library free access to lynda.com. So if you don't want to pay for this, you can actually get access to it with your library membership and be able to take advantage of this for absolutely free. One of the great things about our local library. But Lynda was bought by LinkedIn, and then LinkedIn was bought by Microsoft. So this has really beefed up over the years and has now a lot more training. I mean, they've always had a great selection of content, but now, of course, it's increased, and they've added certifications and competencies as part of it. Our team has gone through, I think, 60 or 70 of these courses in the last 12 months. What I love to do is while I'm traveling, and it could be even locally too, I can watch this content offline, or I can do audio only mode. Now, the advantage there is you don't necessarily have to see the screen and have your device out. You could have your screen off and not necessarily be burning through that battery life by just listening to the audio itself. So I'm a huge fan of it. Again, there's a large selection of courses, anything from technical to business to accounting, self-help, inspiration. There's just, again, like podcasts, there's a big variety there, and it really depends on what you're looking for. The nice thing about many of the courses is they're well designed, aimed to be delivered in sort of 2-hour chunks, and within those 2 hours broken up into sections with an opportunity for you to do little reviews. So it's a great way to spend some of that travel time learning while you're going. A lot of it's really chunked well, so that way it's split up into little pieces, so that way you can take a little bit here, a little bit there, and not feel like you've got to sit down and commit a whole hour. A lot of times I'm on a plane just waiting for it to take off, and that could be anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes on the boarding time. You know, just turn on that LinkedIn Learning course, you know, listen to some of those insights, and boom, it's just a really great way to spend the time. That's if you're looking to be, as I would call it, more productive with your travel. That's not always my goal. Sometimes I'm tired and I just want to listen to music, or I just want to listen to someone talk about something and kind of passively and be informed. This may be something where you want to be a little bit more focused, but I want to call out that this is a listening option here, but dips into also video content. So it's a bit of a hybrid there. Number 5, and I don't want to say the best for last, but one that has, I think, a premium price but also premium value, and that's Audible.com. Audible.com offers plenty of books, and the way they do it is their subscription is you can start off with a 30-day trial. Like many of these offer trials as part of their subscriptions. With the Audible Plus here, it's $14.95 a month, and you get credits every single month. Now, if you've ever paid out of pocket for audiobooks, you will know that they can be a bit costly. That's why things like podcasts are such great alternatives, because a lot of times they're free, but if you pay for an audiobook, it can be between $15 and $30, if not more. There's a lot of production that goes into creating these audiobooks, so I understand the price and the value of that. and many of them have tremendous voice actors who will do either they'll have a multiple cast or someone who does really great voiceover for the different parts in a book series. Now for me, I was buying out of pocket sort of the books as we go. The cool thing about the credit system is basically you get a series of credits, but when you buy the book, it's yours. But with your subscription, you get to be able to stream as many of these books as you want to. And that's the great thing. If you're an avid reader or listener, you can take advantage of Audible, so that way you can get not only, again, on-demand books that you can download, but you can also stream as many books as you want to. And so those credit system is basically, once you get those credits, they're yours to spend. If you buy a book, even if you quit your Audible subscription, the book is still yours. You just lose access to streaming all of the titles in their library of content. We hope that these insights here are helpful to you as you are traveling. These are just practical services. We'd be interested to know, what are some of the listening services that you check out or that you use when you're traveling? We're always loving to learn what other folks are doing, because when travel starts to resume, or as you're traveling locally or just getting to take a trip here or there, it's really great to have a good plan and have some good things sort of ready to go on your device, so that way you can enjoy that trip and make it a little less stressful and a little more pleasurable. Anyway, these have been 5 tips, listening services for when you travel. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this content and want to stay up to date. I've been Chris. You've been great. We'll see you in the next one.